Our big question today, what is going on with the Strait of Hormuz? Where do things stand? Is it open? Is it closed? And what does it actually mean for our economy? Joining us now for our keynote conversation, Amos Hochstein, former Assistant Secretary of State for Energy Resources, who has spent years navigating the intersection of global energy markets and Middle East diplomacy. What does that mean? It means as it relates to the Strait, this is the expert. I'm so glad you're here. What is going on? Is it open? Is it closed? What does it mean to the American people?
Well, first, it's great to be with you. Thank you for having me. The Strait is kind of neither here nor there. It is officially now open. The Iranians have opened it, even though during the negotiations they insisted that they closed it a couple of times. Iranian ships are actually transiting at really high levels. So a lot of Iranian oil, so Iran that was crippled economically by the war, is now the first to gain from this ceasefire or this MOU, this so-called agreement. And while they're negotiating in Switzerland, they are exporting a lot of oil. For the rest of the market, folks are transiting the Strait, but they're cautious. They're trying to figure out, is this going to last? Is it not? And the question that you asked before, who controls it? Before the war, no one controlled it. The Iranians did not control it. It was a free water transit. Now the Iranians are clearly asserting their control over it, which is a big victory for them in this war.
Has it been changed forever?
I'm afraid so, because I have to say the MOU, look, like many, I was against this war. I didn't understand what it was for. It looked like it was for regime change. It was a war that that we should never have gotten into. But how wars end also matters. And now a country that has been an adversary of the United States, has killed scores of Americans and thousands of others, seems to have gotten the upper hand. The MOU seems to be some kind of surrender of some sorts by the United States to Iran and giving them control of the Strait of Hormuz, seemingly for a very long time. And control doesn't only mean charging a tariff on it. It can mean all kinds of things, and it could be used in different ways.
So if the MOU in its current form, if you say it's basically a surrender, it's not a deal, what's the best possible outcome here?
Well, think about it. We went into the war. Remember that even years ago, under President Obama, we signed the JCPOA, the nuclear agreement between the United States and Iran, and with other allies. And that meant that Iran committed to never acquiring or producing nuclear weapons and an aggressive inspection regime. Donald Trump got out of that agreement criticizing it. One, you can't trust the Iranians. Number two, he said it did not address ballistic missiles and it did not address the support of Iran for terrorist organizations. Now we went to war against them. They have gained control of the Strait of Hormuz, which is critical even for our own economy. And while they get to export and monetize post-war, we still don't have a nuclear agreement. And the ballistic missiles and support for terrorist groups are not even on the table. We agreed not to put it on the table for the negotiations. So it's completely unclear why we got out of the JCPOA, why we went to war. So now the hope is that we can negotiate in Switzerland with the Iranians some kind of return to what it was in 2015 when we signed the JCPOA. That's sort of our best case scenario here, except that Iran now believes that it was able to survive a war with Israel and the United States, and not only survive it, but win it. And that's a big problem for our future.
Okay, square this for us. All that you've just laid out, and the market is up 290 points this morning. Explain this disconnect.
So the disconnect in the market is that the market right now has a lot of strong economic news coming from AI investments and capital expenditures that are being announced by AI companies. Remember, this will not necessarily affect American people or jobs, but it is good for the stock market. And so they're basically wanting to believe any good news. And right now there is good news to celebrate, which is oil will not continue to rise. Remember, Donald Trump did this MOU deal for one reason only. After all, it goes against everything that he and Republican senators have said for months. He did it for one reason. The stocks, right? The inventories of oil and gasoline and diesel and jet fuel were running low. And when we got to July, when we were going to get to July, they were going to reach what's called tank bottoms. They were going to run out, and prices were going to go from stable but high to very high. And so he was afraid of that, especially in a midterm election year. And so he signed this MOU, or he would have signed any document put in front of him. So the market now is saying, look, we're not going to have that $150 oil. We're not going to have $5 a gallon of gasoline. That's good news. Let's celebrate it.
Let's celebrate. Meanwhile, the status of the United States, our position as a world leader may be changing forever. Amos, thank you so much for joining us. We are so
Absolutely
grateful to have your expertise.